Good evening. We bring you a special weather news bulletin. Because the United States is entering a highly volatile stretch of September. In the coming days, a major shift in the atmospheric pattern will unfold, unleashing an intense and prolonged heat wave across much of the nation. With temperatures surging to abnormal levels, somewhere between 90 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit, even in northern states like Illinois and Iowa. At the same time, over the Atlantic Ocean, after nearly 3 weeks of rare quiet during the peak of hurricane season, tropical signals are now returning. Tropical storm Gabrielle likely soon as coastal storm blasts eastern U.S. Top weather news for Tuesday, September 16, 2025. Invest 92L is expected to develop into Tropical Storm Gabrielle this week and possibly strengthen into a hurricane. Meanwhile, a coastal storm continues to blast the mid-Atlantic with high winds. Flooding and rough surf. Welcome to the daily weather update from Fox Weather. It's Tuesday, September 16, 2025. Start your day with everything you need to know about today's weather. You can also get a quick briefing of national, regional and local weather whenever you like with the Fox Weather Update podcast. Invest 92L likely to become Tropical Storm Gabrielle soon as new tropical threat emerges in Atlantic. Invest 92L continues to become better organized about halfway between the Windward Islands and the coast of Western Africa and will likely develop into a tropical depression or Tropical Storm Gabrielle within the next day or two. Meanwhile, the National Hurricane Center has now highlighted a new tropical wave emerging off the coast of Africa that will also warrant monitoring as it moves westward across the eastern and central tropical Atlantic. A tropical wave just rolled off Africa and is highly likely to develop into Hurricane Gabrielle, the next named storm of the season. And not only that, the Midwest will also be dealing with severe thunderstorms, large hail, damaging winds, and even scattered tornadoes over the next several days. The weather picture across the U.S. and nearby waters is therefore hot, complicated, and filled with uncertainty. At present, just off the east coast near Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, a small low-pressure system is generating wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour along with heavy rains across coastal Virginia and North Carolina. Although this system is not a true tropical cyclone, because it is being shredded by upper-level wind shear, it still carries the risk of localized flooding and weak waterspouts along the shoreline. Meanwhile, in the west, a trough descending from the Rockies is pushing into Nebraska, Colorado, and Kansas. The clash of moist Gulf air with a cold front from the northwest is creating conditions ripe for severe storms. Large hail, damaging winds above 60 miles per hour, and even a few brief tornadoes are possible within the next 24 hours. By contrast, Louisiana, Texas, and the Northeast are currently enjoying relatively calm, pleasant weather, clear skies, mild air, and little rainfall, a rare lull before much hotter conditions return nationwide. Looking ahead over the next 7 days, the most notable event will be the widespread heat wave. A strong subtropical high is expanding, covering most of the country from the south up into the Midwest. By blocking cooler northern air and trapping heat at the surface, it will drive temperatures sharply higher for days on end. In Texas and the southern plains, highs will reach between 95 and 102 degrees Fahrenheit, producing stifling heat. Arkansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma will see 92 to 98 degrees Fahrenheit, with some locations hitting 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Across the Midwest, Illinois, Iowa, and Indiana, temperatures are forecast to climb into the 90 to 96 degrees Fahrenheit range, some 10 to 15 degrees Fahrenheit above normal for mid-September. Even Minnesota and Wisconsin, typically cooler, will see highs between 82 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, still 8 to 12 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than average. Between September 21st and 25th, numerous weather stations are expected to set new September heat records, especially in major cities like Chicago, St. Louis, and Des Moines. Alongside the heat, severe thunderstorms are also set to return. On Tuesday and Wednesday, Nebraska, Kansas, and Colorado face a heightened risk of strong storms with large hail and perhaps tornadoes near the Colorado-Nebraska border. On Thursday and Friday, the Dakotas and Montana will be under threat of severe weather, with potential squall lines bringing damaging winds across wide areas. By the weekend, storms spread east into Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, though intensity will likely weaken. Meanwhile, the Northeast remains dry with comfortable temperatures between 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Though the ongoing lack of rainfall is worsening drought conditions and threatening the region's fall foliage season. Florida and much of the Southeast tell a different story. As daily showers and thunderstorms continue, Miami and Fort Lauderdale could see 3 to 5 inches of rain in the next 3 days alone, raising the flood risk. Out in the Atlantic, after the quietest September stretch since 1939, the tropics are waking up again. A massive tropical wave has just emerged from West Africa, and the National Hurricane Center has raised development odds significantly over the next 2 to 3 days. If it develops, it will be named Gabrielle, and many forecast models agree that this system could strengthen into a tropical storm, and possibly a hurricane, within 5 to 7 days. The GFS model shows Gabrielle intensifying quickly before recurving harmlessly into the Atlantic as a fish storm. The Euro model also shows development, though somewhat weaker, while monitoring another wave trailing close behind that could aim toward the Caribbean. The Icon model leans toward a more northerly track, sparing land areas. Ensemble guidance, however, gives stronger signals for potential late September development in the western Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico, where moisture will be more favorable. For Gabrielle itself, the odds of a direct U.S. landfall remain very low, under 5%. But the following tropical waves could take a deeper westward track toward the Lesser Antilles, Cuba, or the Yucatan Peninsula, so close monitoring is still necessary. Looking long-term into late September and early October, the polar jet stream will strengthen and begin dipping farther south. This pattern signals the arrival of the season's first cold fronts. The northern plains and upper Midwest could see early autumn chills, with nighttime lows dipping below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Mountain snow is possible in the Rockies and Montana high country. Across the Ohio and Tennessee valleys, the clash of warm and cold air masses will spark more severe storms in October, ushering in what meteorologists often call the nation's second tornado season across the lower Mississippi Valley. Overall, average temperatures will remain above normal across 70% of the U.S. through at least September 25. In terms of rainfall, Florida and the Southeast stay wet, the plains see scattered storms, and the Northeast remains dry. Ladies and gentlemen, the climate outlook for the latter half of September is filled with sharp contrasts. A record-setting heat wave surging into Illinois, Iowa, and Missouri, rounds of severe thunderstorms with hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes across the plains, and the likely birth of Hurricane Gabrielle, signaling that the 2025 hurricane season is shifting into higher gear. Residents, especially in the Midwest, plains, and along the Atlantic coast, should stay alert and up to date, as we are entering a highly volatile weather phase where summer refuses to let go and autumn presses in with strengthening jet streams. Thank you for watching this bulletin. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep up with the latest updates. We'll see you again in our next report.